that ladder, that path, which connects the heavens to the earth. Truth, I might be able to find out some parts of it, or many parts of it, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells me. If I read the Quran, I can understand some things that are true that I did not understand before, because the Quran is revelation, it gives me that information. But the Imam is not just about telling the truth. The Imam is the personification of the truth. The Imam is the truth. The Imam is that connection between the heaven and the earth. To find out how to get to heaven, to find out how to get to salvation as one human being, as a family, as a community, as humanity, that requires us to move beyond my intellect, the intellect of my family, the intellect of all of humanity, not our collective reasoning, but a connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that comes from that leadership that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has appointed. Spiritual, intellectual, in terms of everything that we need. وَأَتَصِبُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا. Hold firm to the rope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. It can have no other possible tafsir but the tafsir that was taught by Ahlul Bayt. The rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cannot just be a book. The rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cannot just be the Quran or a collection of ahadith which tell us what the sunnah of the Prophet was. The rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that which connects us to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without possibility of falling into error. If there is a flood, or if there is a tsunami, and they send rescue helicopters, and they throw down a rope, but they tell the people they're rescuing, well, this rope, it doesn't really necessarily rescue you. It won't bring you up. It might snap. It might not actually be attached to the helicopter. You grab onto it, and it will fall down with you. Then is that going to have any possibility of rescuing them? The habl of Allah, the rope of Allah, which is the basis of Muslim unity, it can only come if there is a firm connection. That rope that comes from the helicopter of the heavens, that rescue line, it has to be firmly attached to the heavens. And it has to be able to bring humanity up to the heavens, otherwise it is worthless. And whoever sends it out to rescue people is playing with them. It's not guiding them, it's not saving them. So on a deeper level, our connection to the Imam is for us to be connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to the heavens. And if we understand all of these points, not just justice, I don't want somebody to wrong me, not just knowing the truth and finding out what the truth is, but being connected to the source of that truth, the source of that guidance, in every sphere of life, then we will see that nothing can possibly fill any part of the shoes of the Imam. And if we have that awareness, then on the days of Eid especially, on the days of Friday especially, but every day of our life, every moment of our life, we will feel from the depths of our heart that we need something, that we are praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for something that we cannot get anywhere else. And our prayers will mean something. Our prayers will be sincere, and not only will it be a connection to the Imam, but it will also be the basis of our own worship, the basis of our own ibadah, because it will give us humility. It will give us tawakkul and reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and all of those attributes that a believer needs to have in order to be a servant and a worshipper of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, in summary, our first obligation, our most important obligation on the day of Eid, above all other days, is to have that recognition of what we are missing by not being in the presence of our Imam. And to pray with our tongues, and to pray with every fiber of our being, every part of our soul, for Allah to reunite us with the Imam in order to connect us with the source of perfect, infallible guidance that He has appointed for humanity. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He grants all of us here today and all of the Muslims throughout the world the fulfillment of that prayer. إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين. الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. وعلى أئمة الهدى علي أمير المؤمنين والحسن والحسين بن علي وعلي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والحجة بن الحسن القائم المهدي صلى الله عليه In the second khutbah, I would like to talk a little bit about what Eid means for us as a community, as a Muslim ummah. Both of the two Eids that we have, they come at the end of a period of sacrifice and worship. In the month of Ramadan, we abstain from food and drink. We put ourselves through a little bit of a challenge in order to show our sincerity and our worship to Allah, and then Eid is the culmination of that worship. The Eid that we are celebrating today, Eid al-Adha, it comes after the sacrifices of Hajj. When people take off that burden of ihram, of abstaining from things that normally we don't think twice about doing for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's interesting that when we celebrate those two Eids, we celebrate by also doing a further act of worship. It's not as if we say that, well, I've gone through the fasting of the month of Ramadan, so this is a day now when it's not going to be worship. And we finished the rituals of the day of Arafah, and now we've come to Mina, those who are in Hajj. And so now it's a time to relax, to kick back and put our feet up. But it is a further act of worship. And that is symbolic of how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants a believer to approach life. As Allah says in the Quran, إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. With hardship comes ease. That is the nature of how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created our lives. When we are in times of ease, we should not think that that is going to last forever. When we are in times of hardship, we should not think that they are going to last forever. It is natural that they come together. فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ. When you have finished one thing, فَانْصَبْ, then immediately have a plan for the continuation of your affairs. So it doesn't become a high point and a low point. Sometimes from the podium we give medical examples, and if there is ever an inaccuracy in the medical example, I apologize for it. But when a person has diabetes, if I understand correctly, they are told, increase the frequency of your meals, even if you decrease the amount that you eat in each meal, so that your blood sugar level, it doesn't vary quite so much. You might have the same amount of food or calories that you were going to eat in the day, but if you have one meal and then you go hungry for a long time, that can damage your health. Spiritually, we are all diabetics, in the sense that spiritually we have to make sure that we don't have those high points and those low points. They come naturally, and that's a hadith of Amir al-Mu'mineen. But our job is to make sure that when we are on those peaks, we are looking forward to what is going to come ahead, and we are softening the blow. And when we are in a low point, we don't continue to slide down, but we are looking forward to make sure that we will be able to rise again. And this